Hello, welcome to the regular rules meeting. This is not the virtual rules meeting. So if you're looking for virtual, you got to go to the virtual rules meeting. It's the regular rules meeting for our regular tournaments this year for the Student Angler Tournament Trail, presented by Lund, Rapala, and Shields. We definitely thank those sponsors. So just going to go over the rules here quickly. I highly encourage you to have a copy of this either on your phone or in your boat so you can actually go over them if there's any question that you may have. I'm just going to go through them again quickly so there's a good overview and you have a good basis of what is going on this year. Reporting rule violations. Each contestant, coach, boat captain agree to report any rule violations to the tournament director, myself, Jamie Doucette. My phone number, 612-919-1323. I highly recommend you put that in your phone so you have contact with me in the event you have a question or something pops up. You need to report it immediately to me. Failure to report violations may cause for your disqualification. So, protests. If there's any protests, if something comes up, that has to be done with 1 hour of check-in time after the final, end of the day. If there's going to be protests, there's definitely the opportunity that we're going to do some polygraph tests this year. So be aware of that. There could be some random polygraphs, but there could be, if there's going to be contestants, protesting and different things that pop up, there's going to be some polygraphs that will happen. So just be aware of that. There's no reason to cheat. There's no reason to, go and do something that's going to put your name and your school in jeopardy. There's no sense for it. So participation eligibility. Participation is open to all high school students grades 9 through 12. So if you just graduated 12th grade, you are eligible this year. A student is considered in the next immediate grade once they have completed the academic requirements, final exams. Graduated seniors are permitted to compete. Team designation. Each team will consist of 2 students. Must have a signed signature, parent from guardian, a signed waiver form. The signature will only be required once per year. The membership contestants must be, not for virtual events, for this one, you do have to be a member of the SAF members, the Student Angler Federation. You have to be a member, so you're going to need that number to register for the tournament. So hopefully you've already got that done if you're watching this rules meeting. Laws and regulations. Contestants must have in their possession a valid fishing license. If you are 16 and above in the state of Minnesota, you do have to have a valid fishing license. Required by law, random checks will be conducted each tournament. Failure to provide a valid fishing license, reasonable amount of time when requested by a tournament director will result in disqualification. Again, you don't want any of that happening to you, so just follow the rules, follow DNR guidance. Purchasing information, so you can't go out and purchase information. There's no hiring of guides and things of that nature, bartering for information, none of that. Just go out and fish and do the right thing. Coaches, boat captains, during practice and competition, the contestants must be accompanied by 1 coach or a boat captain. You have to have a boat captain of age 19 years or older in the boat with you when you are competing in these events. Equipment failure, emergency during competition. The event of equipment failure, emergency during the competition, you must contact myself. Again, the tournament director must be notified as as it's safe to do so. I mean, if there's a situation going on there, I don't need to be the first person called if you're in a massive situation. But in the event that something happens, I need to be notified so we can take action if need be and make sure that you are off the water within time and everything is okay and the students are okay and everybody's fine. So underwater cameras, viewing devices are not allowed during competition. No underwater cameras, no viewing devices, cones, things of that nature, trying to spot fish on beds. That is not allowed. Takeoff and return, you're going to be allowed to launch from any ramps. It's going to, just like our normal events are going to run from 7 to 2. That's usually our takeoff is around. You can be on the water in your spot. You don't start fishing till 7 a.m. and then you can fish till 2 p.m. just like we have in the past. So safety, personal flotation devices, just as we've done in years past. Each contestant boat captain on the water is required to wear, when the boat is moving, a U.S. Coast Guard approved flotation device. You cannot use inflatables. Students cannot use inflatables. No inflatables. Again, U.S. Coast Guard approved life jacket. No inflatables for students. Boat captains, if you choose that you want to wear an inflatable, that's your choice. Chest, or a chest type personal flotation device. So, ignition shutoff. All boats must be equipped with an emergency ignition shutoff. Must be securely attached to the driver's body when you're moving. So just make sure you're using your safety devices. We don't want to have any accidents. We don't have any situations that arise. Same with seating. Kids must be seated in an approved seat when the boat is moving. There's no standing up power fishing. You can't be standing up on the deck of the boat fishing while the big motor is running. There is no standing. There's no fishing when that big motor is running. The only time a kid should be running the big motor is if they're unloading or loading the boat. Otherwise, the boat captain is in control of your ship, that vessel, okay? Unsafe weather or water conditions, that's a discretion of myself and more importantly of you. We could shorten it, we could take out, but when you're on the water as a boat captain, you need to take control of that vessel. Make sure that you're doing the right thing and not doing something crazy to just maybe try to win, to get that next fish or whatever. Do the right thing. So make sure you're just, if bad weather's coming, get off the water if you think it's going to be extremely bad. A little bit of rain and things of that nature, I'm not, you can fish through, but don't push the limits. It's always a big one. Sportsmanship and code of conduct. Just do the right thing. If you're in a spot and somebody's fishing, or if you're coming up to a spot and somebody's fishing it, don't be going and cutting off. How would you feel if you were on fish on a spot and somebody came in and cut you off or started fishing over the top of you? Just don't do it. Hold yourself and your school to high standards and high sportsmanship. We're teaching these kids, we're teaching them, doing the right thing. Be courteous. We understand there is spots on spots. There is only so many spots on a lake sometimes, but you got to go find your own fish. Don't be cutting people off and just comply with the standards and etiquette and doing the right thing. So, trolling motor operation, contestants, coaches, boat captains can all operate the trolling motor. May provide assistance in including information, just saying, hey, you might want to cast over here or whatever. But it's the kids that are fishing, okay? It's not us. We should not even have a rod in our hands. Boat captains and parents should not even have a rod in your hand. There's no reason for it. There's mobile communication. We do not want you texting, emailing, anything for anybody from your team or anything along them natures. If you do want to post something on, Facebook or social media, we'll understand in that aspect, but you should not be contacting anybody of where any fish are at, where you're fishing, any of that. None of that is allowed. Abandoning a boat, if you are leaving your boat to maybe go to the restroom or what have you at a boat ramp or something along them lines, if you're getting out, I need to know that. You need to contact me immediately and then contact me immediately again upon getting him back in so I know what's going on. Horsepower regulation, minimum of 14 foot in length. Each boat must have all use Coast Guard approved safety equipment. Pretty standard stuff. Catching fish. All fish must be caught alive in a conventional sporting manner. There's, all fish caught while sight fishing must be hooked inside the mouth and immediately shown to coach your boat captain for verification. Lures, it's all artificial lures. There's no live bait. Fishing under power, contestant not allowed to fish any combustible engine that again, I already went over that. The boundaries, permitted locations, there's going to be boundaries set up for each lake if there's different cutoffs, maybe such as on leach, there might be different cutoffs where you can't go under certain bridges and stuff. That's all going to be posted. Make sure you know where your boundaries are. Fishing and traveling via boat. All fishing must be conducted from the boat. There's no jumping across land or, you know, wading through things to get to stuff. It all has to be done. You have to stay in your boat. It's a standard catch, record, release process is going to be similar. Although we are going to use rulers this year instead of scales due to what's going on. We can't be passing out weigh scales and stuff. You know, due to the situation at hand. So there's all going to be done via rulers this year. You have to have an approved ruler that I'm going to get into. The catch rulers and the catch board ruler, the Lund aluminum ruler, the Shields aluminum ruler, and the hog trough, very inexpensive one that also shows up very bright. And watch for emails on this. There's going to be several variations and different variations of the different rulers and stuff that are going to be approved, but watch for that. But again, going back to, we're going to catch the fish in accordance with tournament rules. We're going to measure the fish with an approved ruler with the mouth to the left. Okay, the fish, the head of the fish is going to be to your left. You're going to have the belly of the fish to the belly of you. You're going to have your hand in the middle of the fish. It can't be touching the gills, can't be touching the eyes, can't be anywhere near the tail, which we're also going to show you here in this video of how that you have to have your hand sitting in the middle of the fish. Take a photo of it through the timestamp app. Okay, it has to be taken through the timestamp app. That captures the complete fish. So you're going to have the head, the tail, the whole ruler, everything's going to be in there. Everything's visible. You're going to take the longest measurement. If it hits 12 inches, if it hits the 12-inch mark, it's going to be a 12-1/4-inch fish. If it hits 16.5, it's 16 3/4. Okay, you round up. You record that fish. Okay, take the picture. Record that fish on the Champions Tour LiveWell app. Okay, put that in. That app is going to convert that to weight. Okay, so in that event, once you have that, I highly recommend at 11:30 a.m. I caught a 16 1/4-inch fish. Have documentation for you. So in the event that you're going to be protested, you have all your verification. You have the timestamp app. You have the fish. You have the record of what the verification paper that you caught this certain fish at this time. Everything coincides, so you have nothing to question. Do the right thing and follow the rules. And immediately release the fish alive in the proximity to where you caught it. But again, I highly recommend getting that piece of paper so you have documentation. It's going to be asked for if you're going to be protested. You have everything wrote down and what you all caught. Photographs, again, this, you have head, tail, scale, the ruler, can't catch, same fish multiple times. It's not going to be allowed. Say you got 2 kids, you're going to have 2 kids in the boat. There's multiple fish caught. Make sure you're taking the photo of one, getting that taken care of, and then kids can't be fishing if they have a fish. So if you have 2 kids in the boat and you have 2 fish, take care of one, go on to the next, and get to the next. There is no exception. There is no fish in a live well. Absolutely none. If there is video or if there's proof of somebody putting a fish in a live well, you will be disqualified. Absolutely not allowed by anyone. No fish, no live well. You could just as well lock that live well and not put, there's no reason to have any water in that live well. The species, it's just like any other lake. It's going to be largemouth, smallmouth bass. Minimum size is 12 inches, so it has to be a 12-inch minimum fish. Probably going to stick with our 7 fish limit that is going to go through the app. The ties, in the event of tie tournament place, so the longest fish is going to break the tie. So just be aware of that. Tournament of Champions, this is going to qualify you for the Tournament of Champions. We're going to take the top 10% like we have in the past. Alcohol and tobacco, no use of alcohol and tobacco. But again, we will have polygraph tests in the event that there is somebody becomes in question or there's a protest. So be aware of that, and we possibly might just do random polygraph tests. So be aware of it. Boat insurance. Boat captain has to have insurance, and pretty straightforward. There definitely is there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's a different year, but we're looking forward to having a fun year. Okay, so let's have some fun measuring some fish. We've got a nice little largie here. We're looking for the mouth to be touching the bump board. As you can see, that mouth is touching the bump board. You're gonna wanna get a picture of the mouth, the whole fish. You're gonna have your hand in the middle of the fish. It's touching the bump board. You can see this crosses 14 and a half. This is a 14 3/4 inch fish. So get a picture, mouth touching the bump board, whether it's open, closed, that's completely up to you. Crosses 14 and a half, it's a 14 3/4 inch fish. Let's do the old release of here. Nice little fish. And now let's see if we can get another one. Okay, we got another one. Mouth touching, bump board. Mouth is open. You can see it crosses 17 3/4. This is an 18 inch fish. Okay, obviously, as long as this mouth is touching, we don't care. You get your longest measurement, 17 3/4, it crosses, 18 inch fish. Nice fish. Here's what you want to be catching. Make sure you're measuring the fish, have fun, and let's have a great tournament.